What's going on, gang? It's your boy, Pips here with another live stream. So streaming in from Monday, September 20th. We're seeing that the market is just literally bleeding out and extending to the bottom. It looks like it's not done bleeding out for a while. I might just be able to, I might be inclined to trade it later on. One US session opens, but right now in particular, it just looks like it's going to keep bleeding. She's been bleeding. It's kind of coming to a stop though, but it's still trickling down just like it did here again. And there hasn't been a pullback like right here for us to at least draw a fib on it. Wait for that little pullback. It activates the pullback. It breaks through. And then you sell that to the downside because that's just a continuation of it. Okay? It was sold at had 74 pips in the back. This has melted since 12 in the morning today. So since 12 today, it's melted around 324 points. Nonetheless, since Sunday open, which was the 19th, around 5 something, so right around here, $564 pip, which is, guys, that's kind of a big deal, okay? That is a lot of points. We're waiting for it to overall, and hold on guys, give me a second. Alright guys, let's do this. Alright, so on the 1 hour, what we were waiting for it to do, right, before it decided to die out this way. Still not quite sure why it sold 540 points since market open on Sunday. Not really quite sure. I was expecting it right on the 17th, which was Friday, right, to kind of close out around here, then open up Thursday, maybe go a little bit, but then start to recover, and then finally for this week, be able to come up to that gap that it left. But I guess that's no go. That's not really what's going to happen. Now, on SPX 500, we check on the 1 hour, even on the 4 hour, right? It literally died. It showed some divergence, yep, and then boom, that to the downside. This also raises a little bit of alarms because let's go ahead and clean this up right quick. All right, what are we going to keep? Let me see. So we can chart out the daily on SPX. Because honestly, if it crossed over the daily for the sell, it's just going to, I feel like it's going to continue to sell. No one's really said anything. Everything's been quiet. Really, let me see if there is any news. Yes, I don't think so. Bank holidays, exactly. There is no news. Today, the German PPI came out. It was better than the forecast. It was supposed to be good. And now we have the housing market index, which is a low impact folder at 10 in the morning. So let's see how that goes. So yeah, really I'm not understanding why price just went ahead and dipped down that way, but okay, cool. So the highest trading candle on this, right? So we can be still weighing over the loss of divergence, right? From here, July 5, 2021, all the way through September 2021. So where's July at? Right here, July 5. This candle all the way to here. Then the purple line, right? Red followed by green trend line. And you can see that on Friday, it crossed that trend line. Boom. Today, continuing that to the downside. So it is now bleeding out to the downside, right? We already have it from the last level of support. We grabbed the divergence, and it is a go for a sell. So this is why I'm a little bit uncertain if it will continue to sell and then maybe find some support at this level, or if they'll start to push it back up to recover it. Because every time that it has had a push down, like said, like here, they've recovered it back to the upside. So let's see if the Fed's throwing that money and recover the indices. But US 30 is actually on the same boat. This is the divergence, green followed by red trend line too tight. It was basically too tight all the way until we got to these green candles. And then red crossover is just bleeding out. Now I'm not going to say it's going to bleed out another 920 pips, but that'd be really fire to catch that sell down and then catch the reversal back up, fill in the gap, which it did leave up there. But let's see what happens. Right now, it just looks like it's going to continue to free fall for the rest of the day, to be honest. It should start to have some type of impulse back up here in this block. But the way that it's just shooting down, there's really no market structure. It's just bearish, period. Honestly, guys. Even the divergence right now at this point would not really be helping us out too much because you see how divergence happened right here between this point of interest. Between these. Okay, so it went up, came back down, showed some divergence, came up, tied back down. It's literally been crashing. Came up, literally continues to go down. So I just see indices selling, guys. Period. When it's going to go ahead and establish back up, or maybe have some volatility back up, and then maybe continue to push down. Maybe in an hour at 9:30. So right now we're a little early, guys. It is 8:30 in the morning. Alright, cool. Everything done. Let's go ahead and see. Alright, so US30. I want to see it start recovering when it hits the block at this point. This block is basically a bunch of support that we see down here. Right, that only makes sense that it would come down, touch that level of support, kind of dip in here a little bit, and kind of print out, and then see if it's going to recover or if it's just going to continue to the downside. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a pullback as well. So once the market pulls back up, does a little corner like that, we're able to measure it from the last level of resistance all the way down and see what it might do. If it does something like this, it comes back up, touches this point, the 0.236, or even this level right here. Let's say it goes, let me draw it in a different color now. Alright, so if it does something like this and touches the green line, right, but dips through the zero right here, we're going to sell that shit, period. You're going to catch your 30, 50 pips. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to catch 200-300 pips, but I am saying that it will be a sell call and it will be 30, 50 pips in the bag very easily. That's if, again, if it pulls back and then shoves back to the downside and breaks through the zero line. That'll be definitely a clear indication that we'll want to be selling this to the downside, okay? Even if it's for long term, if it's for short term for those 30, 50 pips, then amazing. If it's for long term, then just remember to trail your stop loss as it continues to dump down so you're able to protect your capital and not have that reversal and then literally take you out of the markets and take your account with you. But this is basically what we would want to see happen on the 1 hour, a pullback, and then for it to just continue to dump through. Right now, we don't have that. We just have market ranging to the downside, bleeding the fuck out, breaking through these levels of support over here, and literally just 500 and now maximum like 560, but right now 530 pips to the downside. We're going to see it happen here on a smaller scale. The last level of resistance that we just grabbed from here, from high to low, we're looking for sells. Just buy. Again, if I were to draw my fib from high to low, we're looking for sells. Now if it breaks through the zero, how much would it be to get 30 pips? Looks manageable. Okay, cool beans, cool beans. So And it breaks through. Again, I would sell this. 30 pips down. Boom chakalaka, 50 pips down. Bang. And then see what it wants to do afterward, okay? So it's been bleeding out, honestly. There's no market structure right now at this point. So even if I were to be reading divergence over and over again, it really would be of no use because there's no market structure whatsoever. It's just completely bearish to the downside. And this raindrop, yeah, you don't want to be caught on like seeing divergence and then wanting, I mean, it's not even going to break our trend line from the last level of resistance, but if it does, you don't want to get sucked in and then it's literally just dropping. You want to go with what market's doing, despite the fact that it's showing divergence. Like from here, now all the way through, it's saying, yeah, we're probably going to be going back up. But at the same time, look how sharp that fall is. From here, all the way through to over here. I don't really have too much trust in that. Alright, well, we have how many minutes? 50 minutes left until we'll be in that sweet spot of 9:30 a.m. in the morning, just when a U.S. session will open. Alright, so this market, that's what it's looking like. DRIR 30, guys. Let me know if DRIR 30 looks like this for you on currency.com. Because look at that shit. What is that? Why is it red? Why doesn't it show anything? Like, what happened? Invalid symbol. I guess currency.com doesn't trade DRIR 30 anymore or something like that. Not quite sure what happened there. Japan 225 actually did what we were anticipating one bad eye. Remember that to do? What up, Lucky Pat? So one bad eye, I remember you trying to tell me what Japan 225 was going to do, and then we told you, all right, so based off what we were reading from this level, that it was going to continue to the upside, correct, and show some more divergence, and then start to sell back down. So this was that last green candle, right? Cool. From the last level of support, which is back here, we're going to draw a trend line. From this last level of support, not eating through any candles, so not having to pierce through this, we drew it at this angle, right under these candles. Patience, patience, boom, lines up right here, broke through, came back up, and literally died. So this already happened, right? The actual entry was on Friday, even US session Friday. And that's the outcome of Japan 225. So that's what we were waiting for. Now that it is selling, right, I wouldn't really know where it's going to stop. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys that even though we do trade divergence every single day and scalp it, when market is dumping this way, it's crashing or it's just literally on a super bullish effect, you would want to just trade with the market at that point. Trade with the trend. Don't try and like catch a reversal on it because it's probably not going to go that well. Which is why our analysis today will be a bit different than any other day. We do see the divergence though on the 1 hour. We see that trend line break and drop. On the 4 hour, the very same thing, right? It started over here. On the 4 hour, that's when the highest tip had presented itself on the 4 hour. I mean, on September 6th, 6 in the morning, yes. September 6th, 6 in the morning, highest tip, it continued to go to the right side all the way to September 13, 18. September 13, 18, just straight divergence, red followed by green from the last level of support, which was all the way over here, right? The break. Right now on the 4 hour, there kind of wouldn't really be anything alarming because that's the last level of support. When you crank it to the 1 hour though, you can grab it from this tip as well and draw that trend line, wait for that breakout. Let's say if it breaks out of this second trend line, right, then that'll give you more confirmation that it's possibly coming into this gap right here. Alright, because we'll probably want to fit in that space, so probably come back up, we'll probably crash down through here, come back up and continue to crash. Let's see. On the daily, let's see, what's the daily showing? I don't really think it's showing too much. Okay, I see. So from this point all the way straight through, it has been showing divergence from here all the way straight through, although it's been very stubborn. It's just been moving one way, either way, which has just been pumping. Came back down for a little bit and then pumped up. This would have been very nice on like all the other indices, but that structure didn't go through. Every time it kind of fell, they pushed it back up higher and higher and higher. So it does look slightly different than this one. It was a huge red day. Jesus. Let's see, guys. I have some faith that it'll possibly come back up, but since I do see that gap down there on Japan to 25, and overall the markets are just dying right now. It's not that bad. It's not like a market crash, because it hasn't really crashed like that much. But I mean, from that 715 points, it's a pretty big deal. This was like 962. I remember, I think that one day in May, we caught the buy back up. I think we caught the sell 1,000 pips down, and then we caught the buy back 1,500 pips up in May of this month. That shit was wild. That was because they dumped it here, I think it was. No, or was it in May? It was one of these, where it just literally came down. We caught it all the way up here from the wick, and it literally fell straight down. Then we caught it right back up again. Yeah, my numbers fucked up. I think it was the sell 1,500 and then the buy back up like $1,000. But that was fire. That's what I'm trying to do again with this recovery. For it to recover back into that gap now. Unless this gap is not really that important and it's not really going to find that it needs to fill it in anytime soon. She just continues to fall. Because that is some scary ass drop, to be honest. It just passed this trend line, literally was like, woo. Yeah, so. Alright, oh, 8:48 in the morning. 20 pips back up. Alright, let's see it. There we go, 236. If for whatever reason it starts to literally come back down and straight through the zero, those are the TP points right here. And this would be that pullback that we're talking about for the 1 minute time frame. Let's see. I'm gonna just put an alarm on this and go look at other markets because this one is looking very messy for today. Yeah. Alright, so US 30 looking undecisive right now. Euro 30, I wish I can look at it, but I'm not able to. This also extends exactly to all these other ones because I'm sure that they're all moving together now. Like on the 1 minute, let's look at it on the 10-minute time frame. Has also been dying down. So on Thursday, right, which is September 16, the live stream is rare. So September 16, all the way at the very end, gave the US 30 signal, right? The SPX 500 signal, which then I built up with all the TPs here. I think the NAS 100, but I'm not sure where that little piece of clip is at. Okay, so it's oil, Euro 30. I see a whole bunch of US 30. I don't understand where it's at in the clip, but I'm sure it's there in the clip as it should be. I'm just not really. I remember where exactly I had put up the signal, but it was a 1 minute signal. We said that it would go and pull back up. We gave everyone, there you go, SPX 500 with the 3 yellow TPs, ranging all the way up to 80 pips. So 30, 50, 80. NASDAQ 30, 50, 80, as you just saw. We already had that on NASDAQ and US 30 on September 16. And fortunately enough, right, from those entries on the 1 minute time frame, market literally took off to the upside and gave us more than 80 pips. It actually went up to a total of 141 pips. And from the advanced entry, which it did smack. All right, let's see. So came back up, down, touched the advanced entry. From advanced entry all the way up, 158 pips or 150 pips. This one, 140 pips. If not, 130 pips, right? From the entries, hit TP1, TP2, TP3, open TP, trail your stop loss. You're probably got it stomped out around like 120, 100 per trade. Then what I want to see now is whether or not it showed divergence and then sell when it went back up. So it went back up. I mean, it really didn't. What about on the 10-minute time frame? Let's see. Yes, it did while I was up here. So it was up here. It went all the way up, back down to the 50, came back up and had this tip, right, that touched the 70, our horizontal line. And came back down and showed lower highs, but on the chart, as we see, it was actually higher highs. red followed by green, support right here, trend line, it would have broken out, right? 34 pips, and then boom, all the way to the downside. So that was 17. So that was the next day on Friday. Yup, on Friday. Now we're all the way down here. Now I want to see new divergence down here for a trend line to go like that, sideways, for me to buy it back up, because I'm not really too convinced on this little push to the upside, to be honest. I'm not too convinced. Nor am I going to possibly jeopardize the cash, knowing that this shit's been bearish as heck, and I'll possibly have a pullback and then just continue destroying through this to the downside. Because if it's already at it and there was no news, I mean, to me, let me see. Oh, okay. Okie dokie. This makes sense. Okay, closer to home, investors are looking ahead of to the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting. Heard, so Dow futures tank over 600 points as doubts swirl over China's property market. These motherfuckers are in debt and they possibly are doubting that these people are going to pay the debt within 2 days. Okay. Good morning, Sega. Followed by China base. Among the biggest early Bitcoin shit. Ooh, this is interesting. So basically, she's getting into the red zone, which is not good. If it doesn't pass now that it hits a 0.5 with that tip and it breaks the zero, I'm still going to be looking for sells, guys. All right, don't get confused with this shit over here. If I see divergence up here on the top end of the indicator, then we'll possibly just line it up. And if it crosses for a sell, we're selling. I don't really feel too positive that this is going to be coming back up all of a sudden with huge volatility to the upside and just completely up. Like that would, I mean, it is possible, but I mean, like we saw here, it did show divergence at least on the 1 hour between this and this. Bang, recovery. All right, the other time that it dropped right here. And what did it do? It showed divergence on the 1 hour. Look, between this and this one's lower, this one's higher. This one's higher, this one's lower. Opposites, bang, recovery. May, where's May at? That we caught that 1,500 pips to the downside. May, even over here, let's see it. Look at this, on the 1 hour, right? This is the lowest mountain. This on the RSI, I'm sorry, excuse me, this is the lowest mountain on the RSI, which is July 18th. But, wait, was it July? I'm sorry, it's June 18th, guys. Excuse me about that. So June 18th, 10 in the morning Eastern time, we see the lowest mountain, but then June 20th at 23, we see a higher mountain. Here is the lower one, because if we throw this into a line chart, right, this one's higher, this one's lower, but this one's lower and this one's higher. So it's direct opposite, guys. So if we would have literally waited for the last level of resistance, even touched over here, the first red candle, right, was here, but it would have been too tight. The second red candle right there, drawn it, it would have broken all through here. You would have been in profit, went back down, but not gave you any drawback, broke through the 200 EMA and continued to the upside. All right, now let's go look at May. All right, so May, I think it was like around May 10th or some shit. That was like the magical date that we caught that buyback up. But all right, so let's get right to it. Right here, this is a lower mountain, higher mountain, okay, but higher, lower. You see that? Do you see how it's just completely opposite? Like higher, lower, lower, higher, lower, higher, higher, lower, opposite. So boom, red candle right here. Last level of resistance was up there. Just draw your trend line and patiently wait for it to break out. Once it breaks out, you already know, buy limit over here. And then now you're at 423 pips on the 1 hour. And that, my friends, is what we're trying to wait for now. Why? Because we don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it could literally show some buy, like a little bit of recovery, like it did right here. On the 1 hour, now that it's been like bleeding out, you show a little bit of recovery, whatever. And then literally tomorrow or Thursday, that looks like a heavy ass day. Thursday looks heavy on the Forex factory news. It just continues to dump through. That's not what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to ride the sell to the downside. If it's selling, all right, let's see the continuation to the downside and sell it, right? I wouldn't really be inclined to looking for buys right now, even though I do have that small gap all the way upside, which is the one that I'm waiting for to be able to hit, as we see here drawn. But now that it's bleeding out and there's a bunch of alarms on it, let's see what's going to go on. Excuse me. Right here, let's look back at the 1 minute time frame. All right, let's see. If she just continues to drop, right now we have another 25 minutes until US opens. But if US, it's going to be fast too. So you guys are going to want to be quick on your feet, right? If on 9:30, right, we're closer to over here, like 9:20, something like that, you just see this shit break through the zero, then that would break through support, right? The very last level of support. And it'll possibly want to come into this block piece. This block piece, one more time for all of us, right? It is a level of support, okay? Yes, it does extend all the way down here, but these are where most of the tips are at. So possibly reverse at this area, right? Or possibly grab some sort of cushion, and then we'll see it do something different. But for now, guys, I wouldn't be wanting to buy this market. This shit is not okay. And yes, whatever comes down must come back up, and whatever comes up must come down. I totally agree with that, but that the market would just go like this, right? Or some shit like this, like literally right back to the ups like that. That would be sketch. That would be weird. There would have to news to come out to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yada, yada, yada. We're doing fucking amazing, you know? But right now, it's not really looking like that. A lot of people are speculating that market crash, or well, market correction, if you will, because of how it's been going on the daily and how much inflation it's just been making. So a lot of people are anticipating this. Now, if we have a red day today and tomorrow it starts to be red as well, then I'll possibly be like, damn, this should probably be selling like either another 1,000 pips, or maybe it might be correcting. Which, I mean, I was expecting this to happen in October, November, maybe December, or maybe early next year. So for it to be happening now, that's why I'm not too convinced that this is the market correction slash market crash. I just feel like, yes, it is reaching to these lows, whatever, you know what I mean? There is liquidity down here that the banks have pushed all the way up. So they're possibly just pushing it back down to get out of those entries to then re-push it back up. You know what I mean, for all those institutional traders that are understanding right now. Okay? So that's basically what I feel like is happening, is that lots of banks have pushed it from these levels up here. Now they have to grab the liquidity down here at these levels. Once they grab those liquidities and stomp out all these people that were buying this market, continuing to think that was possibly going to hit 4K, now they're like, holy shit, and their entries have been popped off, and they're literally stop hunting everyone. That continues suppressing buys. So at some point, though, it will find some sort of support and then start to buy back to the upside. Hopefully to hit that little gap that we had been anticipating for such a long moment. Those 1,000 pips are still going to be fire on that gap. And then possibly then the market correction slash market crash, that'd be fire. All right, so let's go ahead and head into the other markets now that we already know basically more or less what we're waiting for US30 to do. Cross over this alarm, cross over the zero at 9:30 and literally sell those 50 pips. I'll run with those 50 pips and I'll be happy. You know what I mean? Some days we're out here to catch 200, 300, 150 pips, or like divergence up, divergence down, divergence up, divergence down. But when market is in this type of cycle, right, that has no structure to it, it's just trending downward or trending upward, you don't want to go against the trend, guys. When there's market structure, let's play the game. But when there's no market structure, let's play by their game, okay? That's my deepest recommendations, guys. Honestly, you know what I mean? We've already been through this with NAS 100, I think the month of June. The month of June, NAS 100 just continued to show divergence, but literally continued to dump or continued to go straight up. Something like that. It was one of those, right? It could only be one of those two. And then we stopped trading NAS 100 for that reason, because we thought, well, this should literally show divergence, but then didn't go through it. So we weren't really that comfortable with it. I'm going to put my glasses on, my blue light glasses, you already know. But it just so happened to actually be, right, that it was just trending to the downside. So we should have just literally sold and went with the market. But we didn't. We continue to see like divergence, like we would have seen like here, and then again and again, and it's just literally like dumping down. So we learn from our mistakes, guys. I'm excited for 9:30, 20 minutes from now. Let's look at the other markets in the meantime. Cryptos, right? It's a little, you know what I mean, it's a little sad to be honest, and I'll tell you why, right? So the reason why it's sad is because we were already, we were saying, we were calling out the buys from September 11th to September 13th, like, yo, this shit is pumping. It pumped 3,000 pips, but it did not touch the sell limit that we had at 48,476, right? It literally like came. It was short, like, let's just say like 70, 80 pips. And then look at that. 5K to the downside. I mean, you know what I mean? You could have just jumped in when you saw us broke the support at this level. But again, I like to go in where I have it marked up, on my daily time frames, wherever it breaks out, stuff like that. I don't really like to go against my analysis because usually that's when I fail. I just mark up my analysis, I go with it. But damn, we're so close to touch, but we can't really say it touched because it did not activate on our side. And so that would be tapped, and we don't want to be lying. So it did not touch our sell limit and literally just bang, right? I'll see it come back up to the upside though. Bitcoin, I still see it ranging now, right? So we were waiting for it to come back up, sell, now range, and then go into new highs, which we're excited about. Let's see how long that takes. But since Bitcoin has been bearish, that also makes, mostly everything else bearish. XMO was doing pretty good, and then now since Bitcoin's dumping, it went down. This one, same thing. Dogecoin, look at it at 20 cents, all right? 20 to 25 cents, that's when you buy, okay? So if you guys have not invested into Dogecoin, you know what I mean? That's a chance, guys. Now, I'm not saying to invest like right now through this. I mean, you could throw a 0.01 at it if you have a good sized account that you're able to just leave that in for like a good 1 month, maybe 15 days from now. I see it, starting to flow back up, especially from 20 cents. Every time it's at 20 cents, as you can see, it's retail price. It's that premium price to go ahead and buy it back up, period. But, I'm just saying, if you guys haven't invested in it, it is a good deal, guys. 20 cents right now would mean that when it gets to $1, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents, 80 cents, 100 cents is $1. And you'd be 5 times up on your investment, which is fire. Which is why I recommend Dogecoin right now, especially since it's at 20 to 25 cents, which is when I told you guys I would be a fire to buy. Okay? So, Bitcoin falling, Dogecoin falling, Bitcoin falling, Dashcoin falling, Bitcoin falling, XRP falling. Look at that. Literally down to 90 cents now. Sheesh. All right, and it still has to fill in this wick. Let's not lie to ourselves. This wick right here needs to be filled in. It just filled in this wick, and that's dandy and all, but this wick right here needs to be filled in, which means that it will be pushing back to the upside. Ethereum as well, just having hard time, but we did have a sell limit. Look at that. Sheesh! Bang, bang, bang. We're already anticipating that on Ethereum. XRP, we had it drawn, right? Look, divergence on XRP, divergence on XRP. Let me go ahead and draw that white line here. All right, look at that. Bang, 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 bang. Trend line for the last level support. Whoop! It broke through, right? Literally September 17 and through the weekend. Wow! Ethereum, same shit. Ethereum Classic. Also looking bearish. Most of the crypto market is just looking bearish, period. I would want to see price at least come back up to here. Let's see, it's right now bouncing on the 200. Doesn't mean that it's bouncing on the 200 for everyone. Okay. Dot also going down. We wanted to see that happen. Kind of a little bit more over here-ish. But, you know what I mean? It still showed divergence nonetheless. I think this is on the daily that I haven't charted up. Yep. Like that all the way to the side. As you can see, this also marked it up. Womp, womp, all the way up. Boop, boop, push down. Polka dot, selling. Link, selling. OMG, alright, OMG, you know what I mean? Stabilizing itself. SHIB USD, back to the downside, you know what I mean? It grabbed all the way up here, and then it died back to over here. Just been bouncing around though, but once SHIB USD is able to be traded or invested in more platforms, then I see SHIB USD being born again, and I would immediately invest into it. Baba's looking like not that fire right now. Baba's dying right now. I mean, I did have that one streamer come in that was like, Baba's looking bullish. Not really, not yet. This thing over here is just like, what the even fuck is this shit? I don't even know, but our boy invested a lot of money into this, and this shit's just been dying. So hopefully it comes back to the upside. Cardano, ooh, Cardano. And this was what? Sunday, Saturday, Friday? Am I wrong? September 18th? Saturday, actually. So this is Monday. Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. Solanis. Why haven't I charted up Solana yet? Look at the daily. Maybe that's why. Here, all the way up with this high ball. Also the support here, and grab it from here. I have to draw it sideways. I can't even draw it here. Let's go 12 hour, maybe it's a little bit more. Alright. But on the daily though, I'd have to be waiting longer. Lunas, I wanted it to fall. It fell a little bit more than what I was anticipating. Perhaps it will recover on that 50 piece and then sell back to the downside, but let's see. Ooh, okay. The dollar's at that level right now, guys. This is very important. This is very important. Sheesh, that means that this has been dying. It's almost our advanced entry. It's going into those advanced entries now. It's going into our buy limit. Gold hopefully we'll smack 1722.11 and pop us in for a buy. That'd be sexy. So this one right here, guys, this is a major key alert right now. All right, it is at our advanced sell limit. I am printing this out and putting it under our signals chat because this is very important right now. All right, even if it's a long-term hold, I do not care. This will come back down. You know what I mean? Maybe bless you with some pips in between. Maybe grab your re-entry. You know what I mean? 50 pips to the downside is not bad. Even 30, 50, 40, 60. 70, it drops over here to 100 and comes back up, touches us back into the advanced entry and just slams back down. But it's important to catch this when it comes up because this is the first time it comes up since it broke to the downside, since it's shown divergence on the daily. And I've been waiting for this for, you know what I mean, since August 31st. So now we're at the middle of September and that's when it wants to do it. So let's go ahead and print it. Print it. All right. I don't need you. $92, $650. Okay, let me push this away. Okay, that looks really nice. That looks nice there. Let's take a picture. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm chopping through this. Let me look one more time though. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Here we go, guys. This is a great opportunity for you to swing trade. Okay, again, swing the dollar to the downside. It's at advanced sell limit, so I would take the opportunity to go ahead and put in some entries, or maybe just put in a sell limit there, right? If you're not, too fucking crazy, maybe just put a low lot size in. You know what I mean? Something a little decent, a little snack. You know what I mean? But I do see this falling back to the downside. If it continues to shoot up, I still see it falling to the downside. So this is a markup. You know what I mean? We've been waiting for this for a little while. So let's see it happen. Okay. All right. So very nice. Now is when all of these start to activate. So now I have to take pictures and put all this on the signals chat. You know what I mean? All right. So this one's on 20. What did I have the last one on? This looks really nice. 28. Okay. Go ahead and mark this up as well. 1.17. 880. 8 minutes until that US 30 starts to shake tail feather up and down like a crazy chicken. 1.169 double zeros. And then let's write advanced entry on this one. Okay. Space it a little bit more. Up. Okay, I like that. That looks good. That looks good. Very nice. Yeah, we look at it on the weekly, guys. I don't really get what that was, to be honest. 5 minutes. Right? It's a little weird, but it's kind of just the inverse of the other numbers. So 0.73100, 0.71300. That's nice. 1 minute. Okay, that's promising. It shows some tight divergence and then bought back up. 830 and this candle did close a little bit lower than 830. Like literally, very little, but it did. 830 closed up here, 832, 834. I honestly wouldn't have seen this pump back up, to be honest with you. I'm waiting for that sell down. But now that 930 opened, let's see what happens. She's been ranging down. She's been literally selling. So this little green candle isn't really much to be like, oh my God, Jake, why didn't you catch the buy? Look, it's buying up. I don't really believe in that shit. I think it's going to continue the downside. So see if it grabs some type of buyback up here at this golden area. All right, because now we're gonna flip the fucking pancake right here. I'm still waiting for it to cross over through here, but if it doesn't, right, level of support here, that pullback happened here. Let's see if it breaks the zero and starts to buy above 34,077. What I would love to see, guys, is for it to print out some more candles to the side, right? Let's say like all the way to 946, some shit like that. And for it to show divergence here on the chart for us to grab a sell and continue selling it to the downside. Unless she wants to buy from here up. And this wick is showing it. Yeah, that wick is showing it. That's one of those long wicks like these. Or like this one. Or like this one in May. This might be it. Might be the push back to the upside. That'd be fire. Broke through the zero. Just like that at 30 pips. Yeah, this green wick looks good. Now, what I would wait for on the 1 hour is for it to show me that divergence. The same shit that it's done over and over again each time that it falls to these levels. Where's May at? Right here. The divergence, divergence, divergence here, here, and May 18, the June one. This recovery right here also had divergence. I'm just gonna be very patient with this, guys. I want to jump into trades left and right, but again, guys, it's not such a good idea when market's looking like this. The pullback was successful though. From the last level of support, we're looking for buys from low to high. It went up, it touched the 0.5 and literally broke through the zero and gave you those 30 pips really quickly. Even ranged up to 50, but I would have just played it safe at 30. Now, even if it starts to move up and down and sideways and shit like that, I wouldn't be trusting it until further action. Okay. Let me put this timer on. Trying to look at other markets because I do want to be able to have some really great entries today. But it looks like US 30 is just doing its own thing right now. It did show like the smallest itty bitty type of divergence down here when it started to climb up, but I didn't really count that in. Now the next move will possibly be the sell back down from here. My last level of support, trend line for it to sell and continue to sell back down. To then follow up with the 1 hour on printing to the side and then showing divergence for us to then grab a trend line from up here, draw it downward, and then buy it back to the upside. Hopefully it'll recover again. Hopefully this time the feds really throw in that money that they're supposed to throw in every month, and it buys back up like this set situation, like this set situation, like this set situation, like this situation right here, but just this situation there. Because if not, then shit's gonna be looking like it will have that correction now happen. Because this is the end of the daily, you know. The daily's been diverging from here all the way up to the side. Finally, it got kind of a great deal of resistance here and low volatility, some skinny, small ass candles here, and then literally just dropped through the daily divergence trend line. Yep. So that wait for breakout market execution, draw a trend line 2 and 3. So I don't know, it's looking high right now. But we're trying to stay positive. I'm trying to see that it will make some divergence here on this blue box. And after that blue box, I'll draw a trend line, and then hopefully maybe it'll recover this week back 1,000 pips. Let's go. 1,000 pips is gonna be fire, guys. This is gonna be wild. I can almost taste the victory. But let's be patient with it. Boom, boom, showed up to divergence now. Go ahead and look at the other markets because this one is looking pretty. No structure right now. So let's see what it ends up doing. Alrighty then, my beloved US 30. Jeez, look at this market though. It's just literally like bleed out. Oh, we're doing okay. And the stock market is just selling. That's what I'm excited about, is to kind of look at the stocks. Because most of the stocks, I was like, yo, this shit's gonna sell, this one's 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 gonna sell. On all the other live streams. And if you don't believe me, then just go look at the other live streams that are posted on my profile, alright? They're there. But yeah, let's just take a little peek at it. Let's kind of look at it. I'm excited. Alright, so it would start at Tesla right here. Let's see. Ooh, Tesla bringing it back down. Okay. Netflix. I still want Netflix to go back up though, and then show divergence for them to sell. So, damn, but sheesh. Okay, AMC got to the downside. That's GBP AUD. I still think this is going to be selling. So, It might not make it to the advanced entry, but 1.87954 for GA. I see it swinging to the downside. Ooh, this is filling in that box. NZDJPY, very nice. PBM, I'm actually looking for PBM to buy, so bits of the coins. We're on a separate chart. Pullback. Let's see where she finds itself. On the last level support, right? Last level support on the bit of coins up to the, there we go. It's up to 0.382. If anything, and it drops from the 0.382, it will fall into the 0.5, 0.618. But then I find that it will have that reversal and then maybe consolidate a bit more. But then I do want to see it push up higher than before. That's what I'm anticipating for the bit of coins. GRGW, IBM. I forget that stocks really do take a lot longer than everything anticipated. Right now, all we see is just like a gap to the downside. For like almost everything, to be honest, except Nestle. Starbucks now dropping a little bit more from that sell limit. Nestle still waiting on AUDNZD. Ben setting from that entry. Neo USD, the crypto, finally filled out that divergence, and between the 17, 18, 19, and 20, been selling, which is great. Ooh, an Apple. I was expecting Apple to come up with some shit like this and then sell some more. I don't know if it's going to recover back up, but I was waiting for Apple to sell. Because of the divergence right here, all the way through, red followed by green trend line from the last level of support. This right here is sexy as fuck. US oil with those sell limits, guys. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me continue downward. Fuck. Whatever. Pretty sure we got called it out. Let's see. Well, pretty sure I called it out on Thursday. This sell right here, and it went through really nicely, guys. It touched the advanced sell limit and everything. We still live. Classic head and shoulder. Not, yes, we are still live. Absolutely. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you how fire this shit is right here. Alright, ready? So this right here, which we predicted on Thursday, we gave you the entries on the live stream on Thursday, okay? Alright, look at this. Mentioned how on the daily it had already had some type of divergence and that it was going to continue to the downside. Bam, 12-hour. I deleted some stuff. And we came into the 1 hour. Alright, remember these candles, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, right after the white line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, alright? That's what we got right there. 5 candles. Right after the white line. Let's measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, right? Yes or yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Comes up into the advanced sell limit, comes into sell limit, barely any drawback, very sexy, and it drops from here into hell, right? Alright, there you go, guys. US30 crossing horizontal line. Let's go look at it. Yeah, because US oil is my last analysis stock on, so. Cheers, farewell. Okie dokies. Very impressive indeed. We're still waiting for it to drop back down. And even if it doesn't drop back down, oh God, I'm so gonna have these as buy stops. This, all of this, and just buy it back up. If it's gonna recover like that, and it's time to give me an entry down here, you're gladly mistaken if you don't think I'm gonna grab entries from here all the way to the upside. But I still see that happening in a little like longer while. Yeah, divergence. I just don't want to call out an early trade and then have you guys lose money and get bit in the ass. You feel me? It's secure trades with me or no trades. Period. That's the way I'm taking this approach. Especially on US30. I cannot jeopardize anybody's account by being like, all right, guys, well, we're just gonna buy this, and then it doesn't end up buying it for whatever reason, it just pushes back down and goes straight into hell. All right, I am willing to face that right now, but this pumping up more than 100 pips, which is really fire. From this little divergence shit right here that it showed, just has no market structure, so I wouldn't have even seen this shit push up to all the way up here. Not really, to be honest with y'all. Since it was having no market structure, like I was about to explain. And it's just literally teardropping down, you know what I mean? You really don't know when it's going to be that pushback to the upside. Like it just happened now. I don't know where this bipolar ass is like, nah, I'm doing good. Like, no, you're not. You're absolutely not. So, I'm over here. It did show a little bit of divergence, but not even enough for me to be actually like, yo, this is great divergence right here, right? This fucking thing, okay. From here, 830 to 832. From 830 to 832, we open this. 832 is lower than 830, right? But on the chart, 830s, I mean, on the RSI, all right, let's draw this in because I don't want to confuse anybody. 830, point of interest. 830 to 832, even proceeding to 834, higher lows. 830 to all the way over here, right? Still lower lows. This one's the same level than this one, right? Yet it was showing higher on the RSI. Higher low, 834, 832, 830. 830 on the chart though, on daily price action, higher, lower, same shit, which is just counted as lower as well. Hidden divergence is what they call it. Green followed by red. Let's see if we would have been able to draw a trend line on this red candle right here. We could possibly grab it from here. No, not really. We would have had to wait until this red candle appeared, and until the breakout that happened at 911, 912. So it would have bought it up 230 pips, which is fire. All right. I mean, I'm not mad about it because there is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and motherfucking Friday to trade. And Thursday looks pretty messy. Looks like it'll be an interesting day. Let me show you guys. So today at 10, let's see. It's going to be this shit over here. I don't think that's came out yet, but it's about to now soon. It says there's going to be a lot of volatility. But let's see. This was basically what was supposed to launch, but then China kind of launched it first, and now USD is going to launch it. So this is today, right? All day, 5 p.m., 9:30. So 5 p.m. is already closed, so not really too much. Just 10 in the morning. This shit right here. All right, let's see it over here. So 2 in the morning over here. Trade balance, blah 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 blah. USD folders over here. Low impact though, but housing starts. Current account, building permits. All right. 9 in the morning, 10:30, no more USD, right? That's tomorrow, Tuesday. Wednesday, sheesh, high impact, medium impact, high impact. So it looks like Wednesday is going to be interesting from 2 p.m. and beyond, right? That 12 p.m., that only the U.S. session open instead of London U.S. session open from 7 to 12. At 12 p.m., once London session closes and it's just U.S. session open, I feel like that's just going to be busting. I'm interested in that. From 10:30, we do have another 2, low impact, medium impact. So let's see. And then Thursday looks wild for a lot of other markets, right? Euro, GBPs, CADs, and then us at 9:45, which is literally 15 minutes after market open on Thursday. Be flash manufacturing. Medium impact, low impact on natural gas storage. Let's see if US oil moves a lot. And that's about it for Thursday, the 23rd. The 24th, and we have Federal Chair Powell speaks. That's going to be some wild shit right there. 10 in the morning, literally 30 minutes after US session opens. So let's see. Looks like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be fire. Tomorrow, let's see how fire it really is. And today, of course, on some bullshit, I'm still trying to find at least an entry or two for you guys so we don't get empty-handed today. That's not what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to make money every day, but I'd rather play it safe. But it did break through this, went up those quick 30, 40, 50 pips, and came back down into that little entry and went up 124 from there. So that method, right, when there's no market structure and it's not really showing divergence, knowing that there's no market structure, from low to high, from the last level of support to here, it dropped down 0.5, broke the zero, which is where I have the line, because I said if it breaks this line, if it breaks the zero to the upside, we're buying it, right? Boom, went up, went back down, went down, but didn't hit stop loss at 80 pips, and then literally shot back to the upside, all right? We were also doing the opposite from high to low, because we thought, damn, this shit looks like it's just bearish and it's just going to continue to landslide for like the rest of the day or the rest of the while. Let's see what happens. From high to low, that's where we had the zero line, okay? So it's not here, it's a little bit before because we wanted to anticipate it since we were looking at other charts and shit like that. But if we weren't trying to anticipate it, then we would have just had it at this zero right here. And if it would have broken this zero, like up and then down to the downside, oops, sorry, up and then down to the downside from here, then we would have just sold it and would have continued and would have hit 30, 50 pips right here. This is the same that I should have drawn and anticipated up here. This goes up here, and those go down there as well. So it would look something like this. Right? So if it shoots to the upside, we're catching that. If it shoots to the downside, we're catching that. And that's basically how it should have looked like. Sorry, touching the wrong button. Like 30, and then like 50, you know what I mean? And then like 30 over here, then like 50, you know what I mean? So that's how it would look like today in particular, since it was literally bleeding out for a while. I didn't want to take the risk of having to either take a buy or a sell and for this shit to literally be wobbly and kind of show us like, oh yeah, I'm going to recover, and then boom, just dump that shit to the downside because I'm not willing to lose. I don't want to hit a stop loss this week, to be honest. I just want to, every single trade we take, I want to be either 30, 50 pips up, 30, 50 pips up, 30, 50 pips up, but I don't want any SLs, all right? So I'd rather be precautious in this market, especially now how it's looking like. I mean, this shit will question anybody, right? I mean, I was expecting it to go into the blue box. All right, where the other levels of support are. Look, everything is inside of the blue box, right? But this one just hovered right on top of it and came back to the upside. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but I see this at least from today and tomorrow, then possibly showing that divergence like it did time and time again. So hopefully this time it won't be that coincidental time that it's not going to show divergence to just take off back to the upside. I mean, it showed it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, right? Did it show it here or no? Let's not talk shit. It showed it here too. That's number 5. How did it show it here? Is he talking shit or not? All right, let's look at it. All right, so boom. This is the point of interest. August 19. Look at the date. August 19, 2021 at 4 Eastern time. To here, which is lower higher. Here is higher lower. You see how that's August 19, 21 at 4? That's the point of interest, but this one's lower at 7. All right, let's open this up. Let's see if this was 7. It looks like it's 8. So at 8. So this candle right here. But again, we don't count the green ones. We count the red ones. So from August 19, 2021, 4 in the morning to 7th August 19, 2021. All right, that's that divergence that we see right there. Greens followed by red trend line. And it kind of shifted, you know what I mean? Respect that trend line, boom, had that break to the up top, and then wham, 761 back to the upside. That's what I want to happen here. I want these motherfuckers to print out more information and show divergence, and then maybe that crazy ass Thursday, Friday that we see coming up those last 3 days of the week this week. Hopefully it pushing up like a good 500 pips. I'd be so happy. I'd be ecstatic, to be honest, because I'm going to throw in a pretty good lot size on that bitch and catch it back to the upside. So I want to see it recover back into this block piece and finally put that analysis to the end. I've been waiting now for a little bit of a while, but hopefully it will happen in good faith. Plus, it's recovered already once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Why not a 6th time, right? Why wouldn't this be one of the issues? Now, I have watched, you know what I mean, those commentators that talk about the economic, you know, situation right now, and I mean, they're still throwing in money every month into all of this. So hopefully that'll be the case, and it will go ahead and show divergence and buy back up. But right now, I'd like to be a little bit more on the patient side. Now, if I was to be a little bit more reckless with it, right, and just say, hey, yeah, this is going to now sell back down because of divergence. Well, I would read it this way. From here all the way to this highest green candle, and let me clean this chart real quick so that no one's confused. There's not a bunch of lines everywhere, right? I'm still going to keep this here because if it breaks through the support level, those 30, 50 pips, I feel like will be touched very easily. Okay, so quickly right here, we see divergence from here, which is our point of interest. Let's go ahead and highlight our point of interest, which is exactly at September 20th, 9:24 in the morning. All right, let me go ahead and point of interest that. So it's both on the RSI and on the chart. For all you newbies out there that are watching either for your first time or just continuing to watch to get more repetitions in, more reps in, will get you stronger, get you more consistent in the strategy. So I do recommend you guys do that. Red followed by green, trend line at where? At the last level of support. So let's go ahead and find that last level of support. Which is here, okay, or even here. But you're gonna grab it from here. I mean, I would still kind of count it in. But I would truly like to see it grab from all the way at the below that red wick, and then for us not to have to eat through these candles, for it to just literally bounce down from there somewhere and literally break through that trend line, break through this, and then literally just continue to sell to the downside to show divergence on the 1 hour. All right. So kind of a slow day today, guys. I mean, shit, I would have. Yes, this is juicy right now, but it's volatile, and I don't want to step in because I step in and make the wrong move and go down with an SL, and that's not the way I want to start my week. You know what I mean? So it's better to just be precautious than to be wishing upon a star. I don't wish. I look at analysis and I draw it out. If it looks sexy, then we take it. If it doesn't look sexy, then we don't take that, okay? Like, look at NAS 100. What the actual fuck with NAS 100? It was going up from this. Literally made like a U-turn and was like, skirt! Sold 40 pips down and then came back up. Well, I mean, from here. But still, in the mid of showing divergence, look at that. What? Now I see it bleeding to the downside. Let's see. SP not bleeding. S30 keeping up. We can't look at Jura 30 for some reason. Japan to 25 right now. Let's see if Japan 225 might have an entry. That Nikki. Let's see, because it hasn't actually broken out of that trend line to the downside, as you see, all right? Drawing the strategy out from here, even from here all the way to the side. Even from here all the way up to here, it's divergence. Look, this is the highest point. This isn't the highest point. This is the highest point. Because that's the highest point. That's our point of interest. Divergence has continued all the way to this high. Let's mark up our point of interest on the chart. So everyone is literally just, you're on point. You feel me? You see it on the chart, on the daily price action, and you see it on the RSI. So mark up your points of interest, which are the highest one on the RSI would be the highest one on the chart. But obviously, we know that that's not the case, because on the daily chart, shit's going to continue to go to the upside to show divergence on the RSI for you to be able to sell that to the downside, right? It's the only way. It shows divergence, then we take the steps. So from here all the way up, red followed by green, awesome. Red followed by green, awesome. But if we were to draw it from that last level of support through this, we're eating through these candles, and we can't be doing that. So we wait until it's all clear, then we wait for the next green candle, we draw it right under there, and what happens? It recovers. So if it recovers, is this a sell limit? No. Is this the advanced sell limit? No. You'd have to wait for it to break to the downside for us to have an entry at Japan 225 safely and catch it to the downside. If not, there is no safe trade, right? At least for today, for the indices. This is not completing no Wyckoff. This would have been Wyckoff right here. This is now the accumulation. This is now distribution to the downside. So already had two phases on the 1 hour. Let's split them so that you can see the phases, all right? These are the phases, guys. This is accumulation. This is distribution on the Wyckoff schematic. At least if I can, right, just give you guys a little lesson today. If I don't find any entries, then I'm sorry. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying in. You know what I mean? If we find an entry, I'll go ahead and show it out. But if not, then let's go over our stuff, okay? Take a mental image. Mental image for me. Do me this favor. Mental image of this right here. Down, up, down, up, down, up. All right? So the procedure is thunderbolt down. So down, up, down. So down, up, down, up. So 6, right? Down, up, down, up, 6. All right, now it's up here. Now if we go ahead and shoot it from here all the way to Wyckoff understanding method, you can see thunderbolt down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's go. Let's do that again. It's just fun. So literally, there's gonna be 3 downs, 3 ups, and the third up is literally it's gonna fucking shoot to the sky. Correct? That's what we have so far. So it go down, up, down, up, down, up. Down number 1, up 2, down 3, up 4, down 5, up 6. And that is exactly what we just did on Bitcoin. That's why it was Wyckoff accumulation on Bitcoin on the 1 hour. It went down, up, down. This is number 6. Again, down number 1, up 2, down 3, up 4, down 5. Spring right here, and you can see it up 6. So now we cross over to this other section of it, right? So this is a little bit different because this is now distribution. It's going to go up, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically 6 again. Doesn't really look as perfect as I would like it to look like, but it went up, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, I'm going to draw it out with using my mouse tool paintbrush. All right, using my mouse tool paintbrush, mark it, it's blue, of course. All right, let me change the color, because if not, we're going to have some confusion. All right, so up, down, up, down. So how many ups we have? 1, 2, 3. How many downs do we have? 1. We change the color on this so everyone's on, you know what I mean? 2 downs, and then that third down to the downside, right? So up, down, up, down, up, down. It's literally like a cheat code, okay? Cheat codes in. All right, now let's go back to Wyckoff. We were talking about accumulation over here, where it was down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're at distribution, because if I flick it back really quick into our Bitcoin, we can see how now it's going up, right? Up, down, up, choo. All right, cool. Now let me go ahead and flick it back. Up, number 1, down 2, up 3, down 4, up 5, and then that 6. One more time. Up, down, up. Wait, it's the thunderbolt, right? So it's up, down, up, down, 6. Literally. That's exactly what we have now for Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, way to the downside. So now that we're in distribution, guess what we're going to phase back into? Now we're just going to do the same cycle as before, as the left. Thunderbolt down, 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 6. Down, now it needs to go up, then down, then up. That's literally what we have for Bitcoin. So, I mean, I would use these as my buy stops, but if I get something cleaner of an entry to buy it back up, then I'll definitely be posting that as well. Here we go, US 30 having some trouble continuing to climb on that pathway that it was going. And shit, it still needs a lot more printing to do. September 21, damn, that would be tomorrow. That would possibly show divergence, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, hopefully be pumping back to the upside. So yeah, today was messy, and I didn't really find any fire entries to be like, dude, this is easy cake, bam, 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 let's get it. Like every other day that we've done it, you know, in our past live streams this month. Today just wasn't the day for me right now. It wasn't really looking that attractive. So you know, I still logged in though. I still did my part. I still, you know, came into the stream. I'm gonna end it a little bit earlier this time because again, I don't really see such a clean entry, and I'm not willing to risk my account, especially not how much I've pushed it to the upsides, and I'll just, you know, I mean, quickly lose something like that. And obviously, we're not doing 0.01, so we're not trying to lose 80 pips. So I'd rather wait it off, guys. I'm sorry, but I'd rather trade on, you know, a better market day where things are a lot more clear, where we're seeing the divergence and we're popping it off like last week. or like the week before that we were seeing divergence, boom, we saw divergence, boom, we saw divergence, boom, and there you go, up. But this right here, nah. This is for the higher time frames, bro. You get me? And by what I mean by that is I'd rather trade the higher time frames on here, see the divergence on the higher time frames, draw the trend line, and then catch that bad boy all the way back up to the upside. You feel me? But not to be playing bumper cards with this shit on the 1 minute time frame and be losing our bumper card battle. I don't, you know what I mean? That don't look attractive to me. On the 10 minute, look at this. Like, this is what I'm trying to talk to you guys about. On the 1 minute, yes, like US30 showed like that little inch of divergence and then shot up like those 250 pips. You know, big deal. We see the market do that every week actually, or every other week. So just that we didn't catch it today really is not fear of missing out on my behalf. I'm not missing out on anything, especially when it's this messy. I'd rather just miss out. I have no fear of missing out. I'm totally fucking fine with that shit. I'd rather wait a couple days, you know what I mean? Maybe let's see how it goes out Tuesday. Again, I'm going to be logging in same time, around 7:30, 8-ish in the morning, 8:30, it's the latest. And then we'll be, you know what I mean, trading all the way to 12 p.m. We usually catch a good amount of pips every single stream, and as well, I give you entries on a lot of other markets that are clean entries, but when we don't see them, I'd rather not jeopardize it. It's just a Monday. It's just 1 day out of the month. You know, even if it happens to be tomorrow as well, being messy, then 2 days out of the month, big whoop. You know, the whole month in itself has been pretty fire with divergence on the 1 minute time frame for us to be catching the ping pongs up and down. But today, not looking as sexy. And as for the crypto scene, you get me, to like jump on board with a different type of market. I would like and would find it appealing, but I would also be looking at it on the 1 hour because this shit did exactly what US30 did. It kind of looks at the same structure. Look at Doge, okay? Thunderbolt down, boom, crash to the downside. 20 cents. It's already at 21. So those people that were like, "Hey, shit, Jacob's saying to buy it at 20 cents. Yeah, you know what I mean? He's like, you should buy it." And I have this green ass, like long ass line right here going, "Hey, 2054 is a buy. I would buy it here, here, here." And then when it starts to buy back up, I'd buy it here and stop right there until, you know what I mean? I'd probably just stop right there. These are my buys right here. Why? Because if it's at 20 or 25 cents, we buy it. Said it at the beginning of the live stream. Now, you know what I mean? You see it. It's not taking off to the upside. Like, it's not fucking shooting up like the moon. But from 20 right here, where we called it earlier on, and obviously it wasn't like, "Hey, this is a signal, guys." You know what I mean? Like, trade it right now. But I told you guys, if you haven't invested, I would invest it at 20 cents because 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, which is $1, which is expected to hit maybe next year, maybe December, maybe October, November. You know what I mean? Crypto news comes out, like crypto suddenly becomes more eco-friendly, and we've even found out a way to mine it faster, like 50% or 25% faster. And now, hell, other people are like, "Yo, let's mine Bitcoin and like it's eco-friendly. Let's incorporate it in other areas of the countries and let's open up the crypto, you know what I mean, currency shit." And then this shit's just gonna fucking be plowing to the upside. You don't want to miss out on that. You know, Dogecoin is a tradable asset. It is a tradable cryptocurrency that is with a good amount of volatility and also hype around it. It's not like some unknown ass coin that like is launched by like a bunch of investors that God knows if, I mean, they're literally pumping that coin like this for you to think that, "Oh my God, it's just gonna be fire," and then they take out all that profit that you put in. Like, this type of shit right here makes no fucking sense. Like, I don't understand how the hell that happens. Like, they hold it to a standard. You put your money in, they literally dump it to the floor, and you lose everything. I don't know about that. Cardano, though, I see it selling, accumulating, and then going back to the upside. I don't understand, though. find it. So yeah, the cryptocurrencies, I would want to see a little bit more time happen before I'm able to tell you guys, yo, let's buy the crypto. Right now, I mean, yeah, it's all the way down here on the trend line. I mean, on the RSI here in the 1 hour time frame, showing that point of interest now. So until it shows divergence and I'm able to grab a trend line from this past level of resistance without eating through the candles and it breaks through back to the upside, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just waiting. Looks like today, there really wasn't that many setups except the dollar. The dollar looking fire, to be honest. I already said that, guys. The dollar looking great because of the daily, all right? Shit, catch a wick and get rich. On the 1 hour, look at it all the way to the upside. It's going to show some divergence at one point and start falling. And if I simply give you 30, 40 pips on the dollar, as well as on EU, which now we're anticipating for it to buy back to the upside on that 1 hour, look at it showing divergence as well. And on the daily, look at what it has been doing. Showing divergence for quite a while. Last point of resistance, trend line, it broke through. Bang, bang, should buy back up to the upside. So, and I mean, gold, yes. I've been waiting for gold to, oh, gold just smacked that motherfucking trend line. Gold to the upside, gold on the uprise. Alright, so we have that alarm literally happened just now. Pretty crazy. 10:21 with 49 seconds, and right now it's 10:22, so it's been literally 1 minute since that happened. And as you can see, 10:21 is when we got hit with that alarm. How much more will be buying to the upside? Let me see on the 15-minute. Well, I actually grabbed it from the 1 hour, so it does look pretty promising because here on the 1 hour, the point of interest is all the way down here. Then it went up, right? Look at that. Bing, bing. Last level of resistance without having to eat through anything. Red candle, green, crossover. So I would possibly, if I were to take a buy on gold, I would put it really tight with the trend line down here. Pocket two. Like right there, and then, you know what I mean, have like a mini advanced entry. We're to tune it into a smaller time frame. It didn't really show too much divergence. The 1 hour is the big kahuna that showed the divergence. Everything else, not really. Except from here, this did show. From 7 today to 7:57, boom, bang. It bought up, kind of came back down, and now it's shooting to the upside. So gold on the rise. Again, if you do want that signal, I would kind of draw exactly as this, 1760, and I would just kind of round that up to the nearest. Have it exactly like that. Although, despite the fact that we are waiting for it to hit the advanced entry on 1722 before it starts to have that great pressure back to the upside, which I've been waiting for because on the weekly, gold has been rising since the beginning of motherfucking time. So I really wouldn't understand why the fuck it wouldn't continue to rise to the end of time unless they find out that gold, yes, it is one of the best electric conductors of electricity. It's a great conductor of electricity, or one of the best conductors of electricity. But if we find a new metal, or we find that we can do it better with something else, then, I mean, I don't really know why gold would be continuing to the upside for long term. Alright, well, That's all we have so far, guys. Okay. I'm sorry today wasn't as a climax as we wanted it to, and as many entries as we really wanted it to, guys. But it is what it is, right? All right, let's go quickly through our little signals here. So, to summarize, dollar looking like a good sell, ZEU looking like buy, AU buy, GU also looking like buy, and NU also looking like buy. Gold looking like buy on the 1 hour, and then on the daily waiting for it to stoop a little bit lower, touch our 722, and then start buying to the upside. Silver, this shit is hopefully grab support from here, buys back up, buy stop, buy stop, buy stop, and 23,100, 24,150, 24,757, and continues to go into new highs. It'll possibly find some resistance here at this area since we see hella wick action here, but let's see. AD CAD did not touch our entry, but you know what I mean, since it did go through there on the daily, 64 pips, nothing too crazy. Grabbed some resistance here, came back down. Hopefully it will come back down to our entry. That's something that I was saying. I was like, well, it might come up, find some resistance in this block, fall back down into our entries, and then buy it back to the upside. ADJPY, I still see it selling. CAD CHF, still see it selling. CAD JPY, I don't really have anything for this pair. Euro AUD on the uprise, okay? Since we called it, I think it was like at the beginning of the month, September 6th, and it brought up 154 motherfucking points, which is fire. EuroCAD, I don't know how many times I screamed out EuroCAD at you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's been said every live stream ever type shit. Like, EuroCAD on the uprise, 345, 174, but the last time it touched was August 30th. This one came close, but it didn't actually touch. Finding some resistance now over here with these wicks, might come back down to the downside to play some more play ball. Hopefully back into our entries. Eurogbp, this one's another one I've been saying for a little while. Buy Eurogbp, buy Eurogbp, buy Eurogbp. Alright. EuroJPY. Sheesh. EuroJPY. EuroJPY. So EuroJPY, okay, it's been showing some divergence on the daily time frame from here all the way through. So that's why I had already drawn the trend line, waited for the break, broke right here, came into advanced entry. I still see it wobbling a little bit, right? So it can show that structure again, like the Wyckoff method. Thunderbolt down, up, down, right? So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. How the fuck? No, it would go down, up, right, to make the pattern. It would go thunderbolt down, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because then it'll be downward. So it'd have to actually go like that. This would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be the spring, and then 6 to the upside. So I was counting it. I was doing it the wrong way. It should be this as number 1, 2, 3. This would be 4, 5, the spring, right, which usually sells a little bit more than before, and then back to the upside for EuroJPY. Okay, so EuroJPY, I would throw small lot size in, especially since it's at advanced entry. Small lot size right now, bigger lot size when it passes this, and it's going to be buffing around these entries, so don't worry, for all you guys that are not on the stream today, we will be seeing this continuation of the whole week of this week, and possibly next week as well. All right, let's see it. GBP NZD, daily trend line. It's looking like buys. GBP JPY selling back to the downside. It's just stuck in that range. So USD CAD above the advanced sell limit. Okay, I still see USD CAD selling. This 74 pips above, but look at those wicks, and it's showing divergence, and this green candle is definitely not going to fucking close above this green candle. But if it doesn't, then we'll just trail it and continue it. But I do see USD CAD selling, guys. USD CHF buying from the century. Okay. USD JPY, I would still sell this mother effer. Continuation to the downside, guys. And then there's the stops. So that's basically the end of that. All right, guys, let's go look at US 30 one last dizzily dallies. So on the daily, looking like it's pushing like that wick, right? This was May. So hopefully, I mean, I would want to see actually this same exact shit. Either this red candle with the wick, and then tomorrow, it would have to be tomorrow, for it to buy with a huge impulse candle back to the upside. Because look at this. Huge red candle, huge impulse candle, okay? Just the body of this candle is how many pips? In one day, 441 pips. This body, 678, this body over here, 500, this body over here. It's like 200 something, but this wasn't as big of a drop like this, you feel me? Like these two candles are not as big as these two. These two, and these two look more like these two. All right, so we would want a bullish day tomorrow. Let's see if that happens. But if it just continues to be red days from here, I'm just gonna fucking sell this shit and like have a low lot size in, sell it, catch a little bit, wait for that buy buck, and buy back to the other side. That's what we're trying to see from this on the 1 hour, going back to the downside from that recovery that it was making. Hit the trend line, came back up, respected the trend line, but did show divergence. So it did show divergence from here all the way up to here. You know what I mean? We're not able to draw that trend line the way we wanted it to. Because again, we've been eating through these candles. So even though we would have caught 30, 50 pips right here, okay, we're also destroying the strategy because we're not staying consistent with it. And then when you guys do it on your own and start eating through candles, and let's say it sells right here for... let's say you're eating through the candles here. Let's say it does end up selling for you here. What if it just reverses hard as fuck, right? And you had no stop loss or something for whatever reason. Or you didn't even catch your 30 pips because you were being greedy and you didn't move your stop profit because you were being dumb. And you literally went from 30 pips to 80 pips stop, right? You don't want that to happen. So that's why we have to draw the trend line exactly how it's intended to be drawn, okay? So red followed by green candle, right under that green candle is where we're supposed to draw this trend line. Let's say in the future, guys, so you know what I mean, in the next consecutive hours from 10 to 11, I will be looking at this chart, but let's say that it does break through this trend line to the downside. I mean, I would be catching the sell, to be honest, because again, and one more time on the 1 hour, we do want to see the sell back down. Now, we don't want to see it sell back down immediately right here, like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should just sells completely straight down because we want to see it a little bit pushed to the side. So some greens, some reds, then push down with some reds to show that divergence on the 1 hour, just like it did every other time in between. Right here, now again, since May the 10th, which was that day that we caught that amazing sell from the wick on the 1 minute all the way down, and we caught the buy back up. Divergence was shown right here. How did it show it? So it's big red candles and some greens, then some reds, then back to the upside. Here, reds, then some greens, then some reds. All right, cool. Where else? Here, over here. reds, then a green, then some red, green, reds, green, reds, right? Showing that divergence. So point of interest, 23, higher low, lowest low, lower low, lowest low, right? So it just continues to go lower, which is great. That's divergence right there. Over here-ish, not really, over here I think it was. So this one, point of interest, and immediately at 13, so literally within 3 hours, it showed divergence and then started to buy it back up. So 10 to 13, so you can see 10 to 13. This is lower on the chart. Whoops. This is lower on the chart than before. 10, 13, 10, 13, greens followed by red trend line. It recovered. That's it. So that's what we want to see now. Even here, look. Point of interest right here. It went from 4 hours of between right here. 1, 2, 3, the fourth candle. Bang, bang, up. And here it was showing a lot of divergence, but then it decided to do some crazy shit like this. So now let's wait for it again. That's all I have for you guys today. Not much. Sorry for kind of no entries, but we're trying to play it safe and as well. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be on tomorrow and on the free chats, right? And also the premiums. If I do see any signal pop up in a little while, then I'll be posting them on there. We'll be chatting through there, all right? Thank you, team. Much love and happiness. Hope you guys find yourselves well and your family find themselves well.